All right, here it is. You guys have been asking for it for a few days now. Mock Draft 2.0, Lions Talk Live. We're going to bring it to you here today. Round 7 through not round number 1. We're going to dive into it and maybe just a little bit more in today's Mock Draft 2.0 version of Lions Talk Live. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank each and every one of you today, Tuesday, for tuning into Lions Talk Live. By the way, it is Jim Arnold Day, in case you're unaware. The longtime great Lions punter is celebrating his birthday today, so make sure if you're on Twitter, go out and wish him a happy birthday. But beyond that, I want to say thanks to everybody for helping us reach 2,200 subscribers. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Takes a second, maybe a second and a half, to go ahead and hit the subscription button, leave a thumbs up, and maybe even a couple comments in the section below. But now, let's get into some Lions news before we get into Mock Draft 2.0. I'm sure most of you are aware, but just bears being said, that Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell have both been elevated to the Pro Bowl. Yes, they're alternates. Yes, they've been called up. But you know, that's more continued recognition for our players after what it was a turnaround, great season in 2022. Now, let's talk about Mock Draft 2.0 for us. We're going to start in round 7. I know, a little different, and work our way up to round 1. What we're going to do in this draft is 0 trades for the Detroit Lions. We're just going to be Brad Holmes, wear a hat, and say, hey, where's the best value at this particular pick? I think there's going to be some compelling reasons why each of these picks came Detroit's way. Let's get into it. All right, starting off with the 7th round, you see at pick 194, P.J. Mustipher, the defensive tackle from Penn State, was selected. And I think we can all get it. You know, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, they want both lines of scrimmage to really stand out for this Detroit team. So they want to get maximum value out of those lines, have a lot of depth, a lot of ability to rotate. So Mustipher at 330-ish pounds, 6'4", really fits that bill. All right, let's head on to round 6 now. As you probably already know, the Lions were picking 183 overall. You can see who the Finns took: Jaguars, Bills, etc. You got the Arizona taking Nelson, the OT from Miami, and of course the Patriots jumping in right before the Lions at 183. But as many a Lions fan is accustomed to, having great special teams over the last, I guess you'd have to go back to the early 80s when Eddie Murray was kicking for Lions, that Lions and sound kicking has gone hand to hand like death and taxes forever. So trying to continue that trend, and I'm sure this would be no surprise to a lot of Lions fans, in the 6th round, we select Jake Moody, the kicker from Michigan. He's got the big leg. He's got accuracy. He's somebody, could he go in round 5? Absolutely. Somebody who wants stability in their kicking game with those dimensions we just brought up, and get somebody who's going to be around foreseeably 8 to 12, maybe 15 years, Jake Moody seems to fit that bill. And for the Detroit Lions, this would answer that problem that they've had at kicking the last few years. Okay, now we're going to go to the next pick for the Lions. So we just went through round 6 with Moody. Now we're moving up to round 5. And you've got the Lions at pick 154. And again, you can look and see who was taken recently before this pick. But Roschon Johnson, the running back from Texas. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this kid, let me try to give you a little bit of information on him, because I think the Lions are getting severe value here. While he might not be a hammering back, let's look at what he is. The last time he ran the 40, his average was 4.34. His high, or slow time, was 4.42. With his low, check this out. His fastest 40-yard time recorded was 4.25. This kid is, laser fast. He can shift directions quickly. So at 222 pounds, roughly 6'1", he would add an explosive dynamic to this offense that really Swift can do, and I get we all get that. Swift's got gears very few humans do, but Swift, as we all also know, has some injury history. So getting somebody like this, Johnson, in the 5th round, I think that's just incredible value for us. And if we can get him, I think we should. On to the 3rd round now, and I'm sure you're all wondering, what's really the best value here for the team? Where could we go? Well, because of the way the draft board fell, and I'm sure we're all going to understand, a number of factors came into this one. In the third round, pick 81. We've talked about it before on Lions Talk Live. We've mocked a couple different situations here, but we think the Lions are going to get extreme value at this particular spot if this scenario plays out. And that's going to be with pick 81. You're already seeing it on the screen, so hear me out. Hendon Hooker, the quarterback from Tennessee. We think the Lions need to get somebody to back up Goff. Somebody with some upside. Somebody that doesn't offer an immediate threat to Goff, so Goff feels fine and dandy, no pressure. But if something should happen to Goff this year, next year, or whatever, it's a matter of time before quarterbacks get hurt. This provides somebody with some mobility, a strong arm. I mean, you all know the metrics on this kid. He's got strength. He's got a combination of athleticism and size. Huge arm. He just needs more time to develop. And at 6'4", 25 pounds, can he take some hits? Absolutely. I think this is extreme value for an area that needs to be addressed for the Lions' sustainability over a long time frame. Goff is great this year. He's great for the foreseeable future. But if injuries happen, do you really want Nate Sudfeld out there taking snaps for us? Or do you want somebody like a Hendon Hooker? And at pick 81, I think the Detroit Lions get massive value here in an area that sorely needs to be addressed. It hasn't been in seemingly 20 years. All right, hopping up to the second round now. And what are we going to target here at pick 55? And again, you can see on the board, you can see what's been taken. But how about Dawand Jones, the offensive lineman from Ohio State? And if you aren't familiar with this kid, let me tell you, massive size. 340, 350. Some reports have him at 360. And yes, that may sound like he's not incredibly mobile, but actually, Jones is. He can move for a person that size. He's not unathletic, but we're going to need help at guard, and he seems to fit that bill. If we can resign Brown for a one-year term or something like that, right. But if not, this kid gives us options where he can be plug and play early in the season into that right guard spot, and just think about him mauling defensive linemen, whether it be tackles or edges on pulls and sweeps, where he gets out there. And I don't think we'll be sweeping with this offensive lineman. I mean, anything the defense does with stunts, things of that sort. He would add a power dimension to our right side. Think about him next to Panay. There could be a lot of holes being opened up for whoever's in the backfield running for the Detroit Lions. And at pick in the second round at pick 55, I think that's an incredible value for us and something to strongly consider. Okay, now going up to pick 48 for the Detroit Lions. And again, if you're looking at the screen, you see what's going to go off the board right behind us before pick 55. And this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's watched Lions Talk Live, seen some of the other mocks that we've done. I just think if there's a way that we get this guy, Eli Ricks, the cornerback from Alabama, at the 48th pick, I think we've hit a home run here. 6'2", laser fast, can get up and push, press, recovery speed, and that's the biggest thing I don't think many people look at when it comes to if you're going to play man-to-man and press across the board, especially 70% of the time, which the Lions do roughly. When somebody beats that jam, it's going to happen at some point. How quickly can you recover to the receiver? And that's something Ricks does incredibly well. He's got the size to be physical. He can help deny lob passes, which, let's face it, you get beat up the sideline, the quarterback's airing it out, put some air under it for the receiver. So he can make up ground getting to the receiver, and because of his length of arm, look at that arm length, while being able to have some vertical and at 6'2", that's going to really help us out, in my opinion, down the road. All right, so now let's move on to the first round, and here you can see who goes off the board just after the Lions' 18th pick. So you're probably wondering who the Lions get at 18. And to me, this is the most ideal situation possible. But let's keep one thing in mind. While you can see Devon Witherspoon is selected by the Detroit Lions Obviously, a Campbell, Aaron Glenn type defender. Somebody who can play the run, play the pass. Put him out there with Eli Ricks. I mean, you've got two guys who are going to come in, and yes, they're going to pay their dues as rookies, but two guys that are physical, can help recover quickly off presses while coming up and smashing the run game in support. I think if Witherspoon's there, it's a no-brainer who they take, but let's also be fair. If he's selected earlier, there are going to be a number of other cornerbacks, in my opinion, in this draft, they're going to slide into this spot. So whether that's Gonzalez or Porter Jr., whoever it is, the Lions are in a great situation here to select somebody at pick 18 to come up and really help solidify their defensive secondary. Now, let's get into the drum roll because I'm sure you're all wondering what we had going on at pick number 6. All right, so on your screen now you can see who the top 5 picks are. We had Bryce Young in a trade with Chicago. We had Bryce Young getting selected by the Colts at number 1. In case you're wondering what that trade we're projecting to be, Chicago gives up pick number 1 overall in this year's draft. Colts give up pick 4, 35, and 79. To me, that's not bad return, although if I'm the Bears, I probably wanted something a little bit more, maybe like a 6th or 7th round pick, but to go back 3 spots, ultimately still get the player you were going to select and pick up that extra capital, that's pretty good. Now, let's get into the Lions and what we project without any trades or factoring anything like that, who they're going to take at pick 6. All right, and there it is. We project at pick number 6, an area of need. You get a little bit younger player here, and Bryan, Bresee, defensive tackle out of Clemson. I'm sure you're all aware of this kid. He's got some size. He's got mobility. Yes, he did have a shoulder injury that slowed him down a little bit, but as long as medical staff review him for all the teams, especially the Detroit Lions, and say, hey, he's good to go, it's an area that we could gravely upgrade, while, as you can see through the rest of the draft, we improved a number of other spots. So, can the Lions get him at 6? I believe he will be there. So this is an ideal situation for the Detroit Lions. All right, well, that will do it for today's Mock 2.0. Let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comment section below. Did you like doing the reverse format? A few of you threw that out there at me, so I wanted to go ahead and give it a try. Any thoughts you guys have on the picks? Hendon Hooker, Ricks, whatever it may be, let me know. We'll do another mock in about a week or so. As you guys know, the closer we get to the actual NFL draft, you're going to have more and more of these things come out. Plus, in about a month from now, we're going to have free agency hit, and that's going to change all the mock drafts considerably. But whatever it is, I hope you all have a great Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Go ahead and hit that subscription button, leave a thumbs up, and also some information in the comment section below. Take care, enjoy your day, and we'll see you all tomorrow on another Lions Talk Live.